All right, you guys, part 2 of our Sunday series. So this is going to be our Ncx workout for Sunday. We have two things. We've got a strength portion as well as a conditioning portion. So the first thing is going to be kind of not for time, practicing those renegade rows, stuff that you just love so much. So 3 sets of 10 renegade rows and a minute of a plank hold. I'm going to change how you guys do these just a little bit. So the renegade rows, remember from our push-up position, I'm holding on to my dumbbells. I'm going to do a push-up and then I'm going to row that dumbbell to my left side and then my right side, and that counts as 1 rep. So I have 10 of those. Now, if you don't happen to have a dumbbell that's going to allow you to do this, say we're going too heavy, then we're probably just going to do this with body weight, and that is totally okay because this is already a very difficult movement. I want to make sure that we are practicing our anti-rotation qualities. So when you go up and you happen to lift that one hand, we want to make sure that we're not faltering to one side. So that's the biggest practice in our renegade row. We're also going to throw in a plank, which I'm going to change the positioning on that one just a little bit too. So our renegade row, I'll show you from the side. I have my dumbbells in place with my shoulders. That way when I go down, I should be able to touch my chest right in between those dumbbells. Remember, this is a harder version of a push-up, so if I have to scale down into my knees or something like that, that is totally okay. If we can't do a push-up, I'm just going to say, let's not use the dumbbells, work on our push-up by itself, and work on our anti-rotation abilities without any of the dumbbells. But here's what it should look like with the dumbbells. Starting from the top, lower chest touches, push away. I need to reset my feet. I'm going to pull this dumbbell towards my hip. That is 1 rep. That is 2 reps. I want you guys to notice how I was trying to lead my hand towards my hip versus my hand towards my face. Huge difference in your rowing ability. It's these guys versus these guys when you do the pulling. And we want to train these guys. So that is our renegade row with our dumbbells. If you don't have any, do the same movement without any dumbbells. The plank is going to look like this. I want you guys to practice what I call a sphinx plank. So it's a forearm plank, but we don't get to use our shoulders. We're going to place our elbows at about chin level and have our forearms and our hands flat on the ground. My goal is to do this. Flex my abs, push my low back, push my mid back all towards the ceiling. This kind of plank is going to take the tension out of your shoulders. It's also going to transfer over into something like a front squat, where we happen to have our hands and our elbows raised, yet we still need to be flexing and working our core. So creating that giant bubble that I always talk about. That is going to be our plank variation, which you are to hold for 1 minute. I want you guys to rest about 90 seconds in between sets. That way we can create quality sets. So that's kind of our strength and skill portion. The next thing is going to be a 15-minute EMOM with 3 movements. First one is going to be double unders. Second one is going to be dumbbell high pull. The third one is going to be double dumbbell swing. I don't happen to have a rope, nor do I have space in here to jump rope. I'm okay with that. I can still practice the one thing that's important to jump roping, bounding. So your ability to move from the ankle and the knee, mainly from the ankle, rather than doing a lot of this. All right, so I want to be able to use the springs that I have that are on my calves and my ankles. So if you don't have that, practice bounding for 45 seconds, or you can do your penguin taps to mimic that double under type movement. The dumbbell high pull is going to be pretty similar to what you saw in the sumo deadlift high pull. I'm going to encourage you guys to hold in a different manner. Hold these as if you were holding a barbell versus when I showed you the sumo deadlift high pull, I actually held in a neutral position. Just because of how I was bringing it up, I needed to do that. From this, we're going to be going arms at length you can do a slight dip, kind of like we're in that power position or from the hip. You can use your legs just a little bit to help guide the weight upwards. But the goal is to get your hands below your elbows into at least your sternum. So it should look like this. That is our dumbbell high pull. We're trying to get as many reps, so with all these movements, as many reps as we can within 45 seconds of work. So it's not a true EMOM where you work for a full minute and then try and work into the next. We're gonna go 45 seconds with about 15 seconds of rest for you to just stop what you're doing, put it down, and then get ready for the next thing. The last thing is going to be a double dumbbell swing. So I showed you guys what that kind of looks like in the previous video. That's why I always encourage you to watch the previous video. We are going to get into our wider, probably sumo stance, because I need to be able to swing 2 dumbbells between my legs without, hitting myself. So we're gonna hold in the neutral grip. That means forward and back. We're gonna allow the hips to go back. Shins are gonna remain vertical. And you are going to squeeze your butt forward as hard as you can. Allow those dumbbells to float up to about eye level. With all these movements and the ones that came before in the NC HIIT workout, I forgot to mention, I want everything that we do to be done unbroken. So that all comes down to consistency and kind of discipline with ourselves. So we have to keep ourselves from going too fast to where it becomes impossible to just continue at the pace that we're going. So we're probably working around 65 to 75% of like our best like cardiovascular effort, because I need sustained work. This is a 15-minute one, so I want to see how well can you guys work for those 15 minutes. This is our NCX video for Sunday. Catch you later.